Hello, guys. We're gonna give the other people like 2 minutes to arrive, we get in the Zoom, and then we'll get going. Oops. Hello, everyone. So we are going to start with the Zoom meetings for the 3U course, the English 3U course. I'm teacher Ben. So we're gonna get started. I'm looking at Unit 1. I would like to know where are most people in Unit 1. Okay, some people have done well, it's a quiz. It should be a quiz. Okay, so about 11 people have done the quiz. I have to rename that. It's not even multiple choice. So you guys are doing tasks on the short story, right? The strangers that came to town? Yeah? So please, so far only like 2 people have done the forum post for Unit 1, Activity 2. So please don't forget to do that. Other than that, yeah, if you can you please turn on your cameras? Like, why are your cameras off? All of you have your cameras off. Turn on your cameras, please, if you can. Don't hide. So I'm trying to figure out where are most people in terms of their assignments. Where are you? So most people haven't done the forum post, so please don't forget to do that. So that's Unit 1, Activity 2. You are expected to do these things even though you know their practice. And some of you guys are doing the quiz, right? And the test, which is fine. So what about the journal? Where are people? How many people are doing the journal? Okay, so no one has done this yet. Okay, so please, right now, I'm just running through the assignments that most people should be doing. So most people need to do Unit 1, Activity 2. So that's the forum post. So you guys know, right? How do you figure out which assessments are for marks? No, it's not going to be this. Don't depend on the color code too much. The best, where is that thing? Oh, it's not there. It's not there. That sucks. Okay, I'm going to give you an updated list of what assignments are for marks. Apparently it's not here. Still need to put it there. Yeah, give me a second. File. So I'm going to give you guys an updated list of which assignments are for marks. But that doesn't mean that you don't do the assignments that are for practice, all right? I do still expect you to do those things. But it's useful to know which assignments are really for marks and how much, and more importantly, it's helpful to know what are the weights. Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can just copy and paste this. Give me a second. Uh-huh. Insert. Okay, give me a second. I need to put this thing here. No, I made changes to the weights of the assignments. So some of them are not, I don't want to change the weighting that's in the Moodle because I may mess it up. So I'm giving you a list of the new weights, the ones I am using. Okay, hold on. See if this works. What? Um, required what? Ah, sucks. Okay. All right, let me share my screen. Ah. All right. All right. All right. Okay, so hopefully, do you guys see that? So that is the updated list of the assessments that are for marks. Where's that thing? Okay. All right. Okay, do you see it? That's the updated assessments. So those are basically what count. Those are the things that count for your mark. So for unit one, the first assessment that's for marks, it's only 3%. It's that quiz. So unit one, activity 5. So that's pretty like straightforward. But okay, I want to talk about the oral presentation. So that your first oral presentation that's for marks is 3U. Yeah, unit one, activity 9, right? Okay, so everyone knows why I'm doing that, right? Now, what's your first oral presentation? So I want to run through what you should be doing in your oral presentation. Yeah, so that's there's, unfortunately, I cannot change this part of the course. So don't pay too much attention to that because I cannot change that part. All right, so unit one, activity 5, the multiple choice, the reading quiz. It's only a quiz. I need to change that. But the first assessment that's for marks is the oral presentation. So I want to run through what you're supposed to do whenever, and it's not the only one, right? If you look at the list of assessments, so unit one, activity 9, and I usually have those worth more, so 8%. Unit 2, there's another oral presentation. Unit 3, activity 15 is another oral presentation. And unit 4, activity 10 is another oral presentation. So basically in every unit, you're doing an oral presentation. Um, Basically, your assessments are either oral presentations, essays, or PowerPoint slides. So that's what most of them are, or the tests. But the tests are only worth 3% because they're easy. I haven't been able to change those yet. So they're, in my view, very easy. So I don't want them worth that much. Okay, so the oral presentation. What are you doing for the oral presentation? Hmm. You see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Let's check out the communication app and level 1, level 2, and level. Remember, you're all level 4.
You
You
have
open
to
the app,
wait until the recording's done. I
look
can't
at what the
skip.
requirements. Think about how your work. Ask for more help and support if you need it. Yes.
Man, this guy talks slower. All right. So this is basically the task. So Vukaru is a website, right? And it allows you to make a recording of yourself. And it's only an audio recording. So when you're ready, you you record yourself, and then it gives you a link. And it's the link that you submit. Okay, you submit the link. So your all presentation should be no more than 5 minutes. So oral presentations typically follow the rule of 3, or either we call it the rule of 3 or we call it OBE. So there should be an opening, there's a body, and there's an ending. Your opening is you're going to introduce yourself. So most people just say, I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm a student in, what is it? What's the school in your local school? Canada International College? Is that it?
Yeah.
And I'm in grade 11 or grade 12 and blah, blah, blah. So you introduce yourself a little bit. And then you're going to explain. So this is the main thing. So you're going to explain your position on this issue. So in the story, the strangers that came to town, the story is about freedom, and it's a particular kind of freedom. The story, you could argue that the story shows that freedom is about being accepted by the people around you, right? So the story, it's a pretty simple story. And a family, the Doviches, immigrate to this American town, and they encounter discrimination. They experience alienation from the town. So they're all of them, all members of this family, experience some kind of discrimination and alienation. They're not really accepted at first, right? But then, because of the initiative of the father of the narrator, they are eventually accepted. So is this a fair thing to say? Is the story showing us that freedom is being accepted by the people around you? So you're going to argue in favor or against this position. You're going to use examples from the story to justify your position. And then you're going to add any concluding remarks. So there is a right way to do this type of thing. Okay, so that's what you're going to be doing. So there is a rubric for this thing. I guess you guys, mostly students are not interested in rubrics. That's mostly for the teachers. Okay, so if you go to classroom files, let me show you. All right, let me share my screen. So in classroom files are the files that you would need to do the different assignments in the course. So it's there, right? You see it? Classroom files. Yes. So if you click on classroom files, right? You have those are just like PDFs of the slides. So there are certain documents there, handouts basically, that I'm going to bring up. So for the oral presentations, oh, it's not here. It wasn't updated. Ah, that sucks. Okay. All right, so I have to do it right now. So, all right, hold on. Oh no. So for your oral presentations, there's a format that I would like you to follow. And there are certain tips I would like you to do. Let me see. Culminating project. Where are you? Essay outline. Literary essay. There's the rubric. So I'm going to show you the rubric. So the rubric is basically just what I use to mark you guys. Well, most of the marking is not done by me because there's too many of you. So another teacher who works with me, works under my guidance, teacher Tessie does the marking. She does most of the marking. But basically I tell her how to do it. But she already knows. Presentation. Okay, pointers for delivering your speech. So the pointers are more for while you do your thing, while you do your recording. That's what the pointers are for. But there's a template I would like you to follow when you, okay, this one, the script template. Now, I would like you guys to prepare a script before you record yourself. Okay? That's a basic thing to do. Although many students don't do that, and that's where they might fall short. It's not that big a deal, I think, in 3U, but it is important. So, okay, so in classroom files, you should be able to see these handouts. Okay, so they're in the bottom, right? Oral presentation rubric. So for the oral presentation, that's how you are marked by teacher Tessie, really. Okay, so that basically explains the difference between a mark in the 80s and a mark in the 70s, which is usually where most people fall. Like you have to do a very good job to get like 85, 88. Okay, so that's the rubric that's used. Anyway, well, okay. So you're gonna use this template. My advice to you guys is make a script first. So for this part, you can just ignore that part, page 1. It's not really that important. Okay. So the whole point of this is that it helps you to organize your presentation into an opening, and in your body should have 3 supporting points. and you're going to have an ending. Now, when I teach this to my students, I teach speech techniques, which so you need like an opening technique. So I don't really, it doesn't really matter that much for you guys, but you just need to have some kind of introduction. So the your introduction is the opening, but the important part is, okay, the body. So you need 3 subpoints in your body. So does the story show that freedom is about being accepted by other people? Yes or no? So whatever your answer, most likely the answer is yes, right? So you need to break down your answer into three parts. Okay? So you are responsible for breaking down your answer. So your answer should have basically three reasons, right? So either you agree or disagree. Most likely you're going to agree. But okay, why do you agree? So you have to break down your reasons in a way that makes sense, right? So that means talking about the events, talking about what happens to the characters. So you can compare, for example, Mrs. Dovich before and after their celebration with the family of the narrator, right? With Andy. So she is a different character for sure by the end of the story. And then maybe you can talk about the kids. And then you can talk about Mr. Dovich, what happens to him, compare him to before and after, right? That makes sense. And then you're gonna have your concluding remarks are gonna be your ending. Okay. So when I teach this in person, I teach speech techniques, which is I don't really expect you guys to do that. It's not really that necessary, especially in grade 11. Okay, so my advice to you, like it's up to you how you go about this. Either you type everything you're gonna say, which is fine, or you make an outline. Now, those who are good talkers don't need a script. They can just, make do with an outline, and that's gonna be fine for them. They still are able to do the job. But those of you who maybe have pronunciation issues should make a script. So the advantage of making a script is that you can practice reading it aloud beforehand so that when you record yourself, you speak clearly. So, okay, in terms of delivery, when you're actually recording now, what are some things you have to keep in mind? Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is another handout. Can you guys see this? Is it big enough? Anyway, so basically when you do your oral presentation and you have a script, you're basically just reading it aloud because it's only it's an audio recording. I don't see you, or teacher Tessie does not see you. So the focus is on your pronunciation, your delivery. So basically what are you doing? You're reading aloud from your script with the right amount of expression, volume, rhythm, and stress. So the best way to do this is to breathe in and out between the sentences. So at the period, when your sentence ends, you breathe out or you breathe in, and then you breathe in or breathe out again. So basically, you speak in a loud and clear voice. You speak slower than normal, right? You do not speak faster than normal, which sometimes you do. Some students do that. Maybe they're nervous. So the tendency with some people is you speak faster than normal. So though you should speak slower than normal. You speak loud and you pause where it is appropriate. Okay? So pausing and stressing is important. Yeah, eye contact is not relevant to you guys because you're only making a recording, an audio recording. Okay? So that's it. Those are some basic guidelines for your oral presentations. A little note about the PowerPoint assignments. So those are not presentations. So usually, yeah, some of those assignments are, you just make the slides. That's basically it. You just make the slides and that's it. You submit the slides. You don't need to make a recording of you discussing your slides. So is there, I think that's not in unit 1. So it's not in unit 1, but it is in, where is that thing? It is in unit 2. So the media project, yeah, that's the media project. Yeah, so that's why sometimes I call it the PowerPoint assignment because it's only PowerPoint. You submit only the slides. Okay. All right. So for you people, what should you be currently doing? So you should currently be doing Unit 1, Activity 2. Now, Unit 1, Activity 1 is just an introduction. You don't have to do that. It's fine. Yeah, Unit 1 is about that story, right? The strangers that came to town. So you do need to read that story. Is it in classroom files? I don't think so, but it is easily, you just Google it. I'm trying to remember if the story is in classroom files. Don't think so. No, but if you Google the story, it's easy to find a copy of The Strangers That Came to Town. So if you just Google The Strangers That Came to Town, full text, yeah, there's one here. Okay. So yeah, this is the story. I will put this in classroom files just to be convenient. Okay, yeah, there's the story. So I'm going to put a copy of this in classroom files. Where are we? Okay, there. So most people have not done Unit 1, Activity 2. So I do expect you guys to do that. So far, only 2 people have done this. And basically, it's the same topic as that oral presentation. So what does freedom mean to the author? So Ambrose Flack. So Freedom means being acknowledged. So this is from Kong Min Kant. What? I don't see. Yeah, okay. All right, this is fine. Although you're a bit short on details, right? So that's fine. It's not such a big deal. So what this thing, so for your oral presentation, you do need details from the story, right? To support your opinion. This is correct. It's just missing details. But for, you know, maybe one short paragraph with like, okay, where are you getting that from? The author, to the author, freedom means being acknowledged, respected, and then allowed, blah, blah, blah. That is correct, but where are you getting that from? Where is that from? It's in the story, but you have to point out the details in the story that show this, right? So maybe a few more sentences would be appropriate. But you're doing the same thing in the oral presentation, right? It's a good start. That's a good start. But just remember that for your oral presentation, you do need to have much more detail than that. Okay, so this is what I would like people to be doing. And I want people, by the next class, I want to see that more people have done that. What's actually here?
Reading, a reflect, and a respond. So let's do an independent reading, a reflect, and a respond. Learning goals and success criteria. Goals are the things that you should be able to do by lesson to learn. Lesson. So the learn, what we want you to be able to accomplish are the ways of success through a process. It's what see you be able to do on reaching your. So here are the success criteria.
The Strangers That Came to Town was an early literary examination of bigotry and prejudice in small-town America that predated the similarly themed To Kill a Mockingbird. Andy. The story follows the Dubic family, Croatian immigrants whose physical appearance the narrator immediately marks as both foreign and poor. Though sicknesses typical of the period, typhoid, whooping cough, measles, and dire poverty afflict the family, they remain kind, optimistic, and surprisingly generous. The townspeople, however, have trouble looking beyond appearances. They harangue the Dudich siblings, taunting them for everything from the leaf, lard and black bread sandwiches they ate for lunch to the rag pickers' clothes they wear to school. After the narrator Andy and his brother Tom poison some fish the Dudiches have caught, making them inedible, their father forces the boys to confess and administers punishment, part of which is facing their victims and owning up to their crime. Father goes a step further that ultimately eases the tension around the entire community. It is high time, Tom and I heard Father say calmly, sanely, to Mother around noon next day when we woke up, for this senseless feeling against the Dudiches to stop, and I'm willing to do still more to stop it. Tonight we are having supper with them. In time, the townspeople gradually accept the new arrivals, and the story ends on a note of unexpected generosity. On a cold, snowy afternoon in winter, Mr. Dubich stopped at our house and presented Father, who had enormous hands, much bigger than any of the Dubiches, with a handsome pair of leather mittens, lined with fur, which had a slightly acrid ashy odor. No doubt one of the boys resurrected them from a heap of ashes in the dump, remarked Father, drawing on the mittens, which fitted perfectly. Why should I value them any the less? Who would have dreamed that the Duditches would have so much more to offer us than we have to offer them? The story was so popular, it was dramatized in a 1959 television episode of The Loretta Young Show.
Check out the rubric for this assignment. Look at the categories: thinking, communication, application. Level 1, level 2, 4. Always.
All right. So that is, yeah, like a summary of the story. All right. So, okay, so I'm gonna put a full text of the story. What happened? Open with. So I'm going to put a full text of the story in classroom files. All right. So you do need to read the story because the whole unit is based on this story. Okay. All right. So for your oral presentations, like if you do make a script, but you don't hand in the script, so you hand in, right, your recording. Okay, just to be clear about that. Okay. All right, so in classroom files, you should find the full text already. So yeah, just to be convenient, it's right there. Okay. All right. How many? So I'm gonna take a picture of the Zoom, all right? Just for the attendance. Over to. Okay. All right, so any questions? Now, if you do have questions about the assignments and, outside of the Zoom, like we're only meeting once a week, right? Use the message, like the messenger thing on the Moodle. So that's an easy way to like reach me. Okay, so right there, right? You see? Yeah. So just message me here. So if you have a question or whatever. Okay. All right. All right, guys. So that's it for this week. So please do your forum post for Unit 1, Activity 2. And some of you are still working on that reading quiz. So that's Unit 1, Activity 5. So after you do that, the next assessment that's from Marks is the oral presentation. And yeah, okay. All right, so thank you for coming. I will see you next week. Okay. You can go. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye, sir.